So here we have the level 3 commander and his battle smiter champion with his comitatus behind him, and beyond that 2 units of spearmen mixed with bowmen. Next to them we have another command with a level 2 leader with some skirmishers, some spearmen, and behind that some lower quality petty spearmen. And the same again for this command, another level 2 leader, skirmishers, spearmen, and some lower quality infantry to back them up, all ready to take on some Saxons.
In this wing here, we've got Hussar, which is he's a level 2 hero. He's got 2 units of veteran spearmen and 1 unit of the young warriors, more impetuous ones, and a unit of skirmishers. And then in the middle we have Aella, who's the army general, and he's just got the 2 units of what we call him, Gedricht, the Hearth Guard. And then we have Janfrith, who's a level 2 hero, very similar to that wing over there. So 2 units of veterans, 1 of the young warriors, and 1 of skirmishers. And I meant to mention that right over in that right wing, we've got Osric, who's a level 1 champion with that unit.
So before the game, we fought man-to-man combat with our champions. The Roman champion issued a challenge and was accepted by the Saxon champion. The Saxon champion won the first round of combat, inflicting a wound. The second round went to the Roman, inflicting a wound. And then in the third round of combat, they both inflicted a hit, killing each other at the same time. So they died heroically before the battle start, which gains both of us some reputation, but then loses us some reputation. So, end of first turn movement. Everything in the army has just pushed up a single move. I didn't go for any second moves, and I didn't spend any mighty deeds as a result. So that's my army just pushed forward 1 move.
So very similarly, the defenders, the Saxons, have basically just moved up across the line. Slightly different though, I've moved double moves with all of my units, had to burn 1 or 2 mighty deeds on the way to get there. But the whole army's moved up 2 moves, and I'm going to have a go at doing a bit of shooting next. So I've had a go at shooting with both units of skirmishers. So this unit here managed to score 2 hits on the the slingers. Didn't cause any kills, but they passed their command test, so they didn't have to fall back. Exactly the same over here as in intention. These Saxons shot on those slingers and actually didn't manage to get any hits at all. Oh, sorry, no, they got 1, didn't they? And that you failed your command test, but then had to burn a mighty point to get them to stay in place.
There he is, one mighty deed down. So in my turn, the fearsome shooting from the late Roman armies. The skirmishers over here failed to hit anything. The archer unit here, the mixed spears and archers, they did hit over there, but they passed their command test. These guys failed to hit anything, and these skirmishers failed to hit anything. So altogether, a rather poor shooting phase for the late Romans. So, second attacker's move, and I played uncharacteristically cautiously. Over here, the slingers swung out to their flank, had another shot, as you can at the end of your move, at the enemy slingers, but failed to do anything. The rest of the army mostly stayed still. I'm encouraging the Saxons to come to us and hoping shooting can do something to disrupt them, but we shall see.
Okay, so basically moved up double yet again. I had to burn a couple of mighty deeds to do so, but the whole line's moved up. I am going to take some shooting in the face for this one turn, but that can't be helped. Right across the line, really, and they've just moved into actually killing zone, so it'll make their shooting a little bit more effective against those slingers now.
The lines closed, and the late Romans readied their missile weapons and loosed in great amounts,
Fury.
causing very little disruption whatsoever, apart from here where they pushed back a single unit, but not really disrupting the battle lines in the ways that I'd hoped, and not causing any casualties on the way either. So over here, the skirmishers have just held their ground because their enemy are in their killing zone, so they're feeling they can just drive them off with some slightly better shooting than last time. Along the rest of the line, though, the heroes have pulled up their Roman skirts and charged into combat, leading their men in there with where they can, with some support. So we've got combats to come here. The general too has got giddy with excitement after his cautious start and gone charging in there as well. More combat here to come. There's a single unengaged unit of Saxons there, who I'm hoping a bit of shooting in a moment will drive them off, but won't be holding my breath on that. More combat to come, and that's where we leave it. So, from this end, we've got Romans pushing through all over the place. The Saxons here driven back. Over here, however, Infrith managed to hold his ground and, in fact, push the Romans back. Over here, the general is forcing his way through there. He's done double damage on those, so they're down to half now. Likewise over here, more Romans pushing through. So it was a good turn for the Romans there to get the charge in. And equally, lots of reputation gathered by the Romans, lots of characters going in there, and the general leading the way.
So yeah, not a huge amount of movement because we are fully engaged now, but this unit here with Hussar basically swung round to support this melee over here. I don't think these are much longer for this world, in fairness. Skirmishers over here managed to score 1 stamina hit on your unit of warriors there. Everybody else pretty static, apart from again some shooting here which forced that unit back, and I think you burned a mighty deed trying to prevent them from falling back, but failed. So I'll claim that as a minor victory. So a real messy combat this turn, but this was the Saxons' attack and melee. Managed to rally 1 point of stamina here using a mighty deed, and that gave them an extra 6 dice, wasn't it? Back into their pool. Managed to win that particular melee and push them back there. No units destroyed yet, but we're all looking a bit unhealthy. Likewise here, Ayala managed to push that unit back, but again, both units are looking quite delicate. Your general, the late Roman general, succeeded. It hasn't quite wiped out this unit yet, but they've lost 3 stamina, so it won't be long for that Hearthguard before he'll be able to get rid of them. And here, actually the tables turned in the late Romans' favour there, pushing back that unit, but also wounding Eunfrith, the hero. And that was a success to the Saxons here, wasn't it? So it's definitely a kind of push and pull melee along the line at the moment. No units actually lost yet, but I think in this next turn we're bound to lose a few and affect the reputation pool.
So a little bit of redressing the lines here. The skirmishers have moved up there to try and finally drive off their rival skirmishers. Over here, everybody is about where they need to be. The general over here used Holdfast to try to bring back some stamina here to try and stiffen their resolve, because if I can get those, I can take out a hero and a unit at the same time. Over here it's going badly. Pull the skirmishers up to give an extra save to the unit over here. And finally this last unit of Betty moved up there to just try and get some javelin shots to get rid of those skirmishers on that end as well. We'll see how that goes. So, over at this end, we're still fighting one another to a standstill. in fact, that was a drawn combat, that one, wasn't it? So nothing happened there. We just held them off. So thanks to my hero spending a mighty deed to bolster the attacks. Over here, I managed to pull out a cheeky little win and drive back the Hearthgarden general there. Over here, another drawn combat. Lots of swinging and missing from both sides there. Here, the Romans continuing to push on, couldn't quite tip them over the edge and kill them, but have driven them back some more. They're on their last legs. And here, finally, the first actual unit wiped out in the game. At quite considerable cost, though, there. I've got a very badly damaged unit left with the hero hanging in there. And over here, the skirmishers continue their face-off.
So the defender, the Saxons movement, is just this one unit that have moved up from a support position to avenge their fallen brothers. It sort of ended up in 3 or 4 separate combats, really, didn't it? So over here, the Saxons managed to do okay, and despite the damage, pushed back on the Romans, but not enough to cause any actual losses as such. But across the rest of the field, it wasn't so great. These won as well, didn't they? The Saxons here, just.
They just scraped a win, but your general...
I failed the Rister heroes, burned a mighty deed, lost reputation, and failed it again. So he's actually wounded now. You succeeded over here, destroyed the Hearthguard unit that was down to 1 stamina. Succeeded here as well, I believe, and destroyed a unit there.
Yeah.
And although I'd managed to push up and do okay and destroy a Roman unit there, your hero sort of held them back. And at this point, from a reputation point of view, I'm down to -4. And I think the Romans are still fairly healthy. Yeah, you've got loads.